Actually, in 1970, as we heard that finally, Mother Thérèse was canonized. And it brought joy in my heart because I felt that at last now, the congregation, not only the congregation, Mother Thérèse has been recognized, accepted as a saint in the list of saints in the church.
What I remember is that it was around that time that all the sisters of the American Midwest province came together for the first ever General Assembly of the province. We were still members of the Midwest province, and so we were part of the assembly even if we had just become novices.
We were in the Philippines, but we were very happy that Mother Thérèse was finally going to be canonized. Pope Paul VI had used in a feast to enter the cenacle is to enter the heart. It was much more significant at the time in 1970 because previous to that time, of course, we knew that the canonization process was long. We didn't have any shortcuts. And we were very aware of Mother Teresa's blessed Thérèse Couderc. And we knew she was declared venerable in 1935 and declared blessed in 1951. So of course we were hoping for the canonization and for the first-class miracles. I think in those days we used to say the novena monthly and asking for all kinds of favors, wanting to make sure that, if we could get the first-class miracles as soon as possible for getting the canonization. The contact person I had for the cenacle was Mother Genevieve Donahue, and she was a witness to the 1951 beatification, and she tells the story about how she was present at opening of the coffin of Mother Thérèse and how shocked they were when the coffin was opened and the body of Mother Thérèse was incorrupt. And they didn't know exactly what to do. They just had to get another coffin right away and until they could find out what they were supposed to do. I did hear from Mother Salio about all the things she did in preparing the body of Mother Thérèse for the shrine, and how she washed the body and dried it and kind of treated the body almost like the Blessed Sacrament.
She was a woman whose virtue brought about a sensitive listening to the will of God. Having fulfilled the will of God, not only in the term of her life, but the afterlife. She was a silent, humble person, but strong-willed and knew the path that she was taking in the service of the Lord.
I guess 50 years after the canonization doesn't seem as significant. I was told that the canonization would validate our lives. It would ensure that this way of life would bring about holiness and sanctity. It's still great to realize that the foundress of the congregation is in heaven and that the church assures it. And not only her, but a lot of other Cenacle sisters that have followed in her footsteps are in heaven. So we do have someone there really as a mother, and we are all daughters of this mother.
She was canonized, I felt, because she was a woman who read the signs of the times. In addition to the graces that she left with us, her vision on goodness and also self-surrender, she was a woman who was very faithful to seeing what God was saying in what was happening around her. And she always responded to it. And no matter what the cost might have been for her to respond, she was willing to pay the cost. And so she would let go of whatever needed to be suffered as a loss in order that she could be faithful to that response.
When I saw that phrase, "My God, I wish to be entirely thine, deign to accept my offering," I felt like, oh, I can do that. I can say it. And so I did say it. What followed after, where Mother Thérèse would say, "You must always remember that you have surrendered yourself and not shrink from all the little sacrifices that are opportunities being given you." And of course, I think of all the little sacrifices and find it not so easy to not shrink from all those little sacrifices. But she herself would like very much for us to surrender, to give ourselves totally to God, His will and His pleasure.
Self-surrender allows us to come to that freedom that will allow us to let go. No? As we age, as we mature, and as we move forward also in the region, what is being asked of us in the events that are happening, whether in our country or in the world, in our region or in the congregation.
Many orders have moved from one charism of their foundation and recognized it in different ways. However, for us in the Cenacle, the charism has always been the same. It has always been in terms of retreat. The umbrella of probably other ways of bringing out the retreats, making Jesus' love known.